What are some of the things that you do to keep yourself healthy and happy, just in general?
Well, I think I've had to learn to manage my own energy levels. That whole period there where I wasn't drinking for quite a long time, it was really done through necessity. I pushed myself harder and harder every day. The problem with passion is that you just wear yourself out sometimes. You burn so hard for so long every day because you're so driven. It's not even work; it's just a lifestyle that you lead because you're so passionate. I failed to recognise the my own energy levels, my need to refill my petrol tank every day. And a couple of years ago, I fell into a really deep hole. I was on a trip. We were away in Europe for Intersolar. I was away for a month with the family. So I started with a work trip and went on to a family holiday. And last night, I started thinking about all the things I needed to do when I got back off the plane. 1 o'clock in the morning in Spain in a little Airbnb, and I started just sweating profusely, shaking like a leaf, and I just thought I was having a heart attack. I nearly called an ambulance. So I just went for a run. It was still 26, 27 degrees, and I came back just pouring in sweat, put the air conditioner on, and just collapsed in a heap on the floor. And I discovered anxiety at that point, and it just really, really screwed me up for many months. I found myself just running around the golf course at 1 o'clock in the morning back in Gippsland, 3 degrees and hailing, but I couldn't settle myself down. So I actually got to the point where that elastic band had kind of snapped, and I'm sure a lot of people have been through that. And I like the fact that we now talk about those kind of things because we all deal with a lot of pressure. But the beauty of that experience is that it taught me that I need to manage my own energy levels and not wait till that elastic band snaps, but to actually recognize that I'm getting depleted. So I do a lot of meditation. I go periods of time where I just, I don't drink, or I make good life decisions in terms of diet. Sometimes I'm having a really stressful day at work and I'm just a real pain in the backside to be around. I'm just spreading negative dust around the entire office. And I just throw my papers in the air. I go and take the dog. I go for a run down the coast and then go for a swim in the ocean and just go and clear my head. You need to check yourself out sometimes and realize that if you don't manage your own energy levels, you can't manage your business, you can't manage your team, you can't manage your family. It all just falls in a heap. So it was a horrible experience. It went for a long period of time, but I learned a lot about myself. And I think that as a person, I've grown a lot. Encourage other people to, have those conversations, and you might find other people who've dealt with similar challenges, and they might give you some good coping mechanisms or little bits of information on how they've dealt with it. It's just all about sharing those experiences and not being too proud to admit that you've done it tough.
Yeah, it's so true. And I'm definitely noticing a shift. I think, if there's a positive out of this lockdown, it would be that, for myself at least, I've noticed, a lot of the things that I was going through in my own personal life, which were quite challenging. I'd post something in a comment on one of the solar Facebook pages, and the response was amazing. And then people are calling and saying, I'm going through the same thing, and that was one of the things that helped me. And it was anxiety. I think it was sort of coming out as I was just feeling anxious really after being in lockdown for so long. But yeah, being able to talk openly about it, especially as a man, is, I think, so important. And you got to think back about, this is another thing that I was talking to Kane about on the other day, which was, it's like an injury really, isn't it? So, if you've got an injury, you want to heal yourself. Let's say you hurt your leg playing footy, you're not going to hide the facts, are you? In fact, if you've done your hammy, it's almost like a thing of pride, which is something that Kane was saying. It's like you wear it as a badge of pride. Look, I've done my hammy. I went in too hard for the ball or whatever. But when it comes to mental injuries, I suppose, which they are, which everyone can have, it's like there was this stigma about even talking about it, like you're weak or not a man or some bullshit like that. So, yeah, I think things have definitely changed, which is excellent. Yeah.
And to your point as well, if you're sick, really sick, you go and see a doctor. That's what you do. I was sick, so I went and did some counselling. I got a life coach. She listened to me for 3 or 4 sessions. We recorded them, we walked through them, and then she gave me a plan to work through some of those challenges. why anyone would be too proud to accept that and admit it is just beyond me. Like, I've always been a bit of an oversharer. I come from a long line of oversharers, so it's not been a challenge for me. But it's nice when you talk about these things and someone will message you and say, "Gee, it was refreshing to hear someone who I see driving around in a Tesla with 80 staff, business has been acquired, like living the dream, happily married with 3 kids, and I just look like I've got everything under control." But I don't. I've
Mm.
had really tough times, and I just don't understand why we wouldn't share those things honestly and openly. And then you find that other people feel more comfortable sharing their experiences. And as a civilization, especially as men, then we all get healthier and happier and become better versions of ourselves.
Check out more episodes from Convos with Clenergy. Slap that subscribe button now. Cheers, cutters.